guys, how's it going? Pawinning here. Welcome back to my garage. It's awesome to have you guys here. So in today's video, we're going to be installing this BMSpec spoiler extension on my 10th gen Honda Civic Si. This one is specifically cut to fit my Honda Civic Sedan, but I'll leave a product link below so that you guys can see for yourselves what the product looks like and find out more fitment details. And aside from spoiler extensions, they also have front lips for the 10th gen Civic as well. So I reached out to Brian, the owner of BMSpec. He agreed to send me this gurney flap for my sedan in order to show you guys how to install one for yourselves, as well as give my thoughts and opinions of the product overall. So opening up the package, you're going to find the extension blade, 4 aluminum brackets, as well as mounting screws to put everything together. The actual extension blade comes with 3M tape on the bottom, which is going to help you align the blade to the car before you drill through the holes on the mounting brackets to secure the spoiler extension to your car. So to quickly go over the tools, you're going to need Allen keys or an Allen socket, and you're going to need a 5/32 drill bit in order to drill the holes for the Allen screws to secure the mounting brackets to the spoiler. You're going to need a second pair of hands to definitely help you line everything up and make sure everything is centered. So luckily, Eddie and a couple friends are going to show up later today and help me with the entire install.
The first thing I did was assemble the metal brackets onto the extension blade using an Allen socket to tighten down the countersunk flathead screws as shown. Then I tightened down the screws until there are no gaps between the extension blade and the brackets. With the next step, I tried my best to establish a center line on the stock spoiler. I used masking tape to mark 2 surface edges on the stock spoiler, then I measured between the 2 pieces of tape to find the midpoint. Now I'm not a professional at bodywork by any means, but I was pretty happy with how the center line came out. After cleaning the spoiler, I got a second pair of hands to help me test fit the spoiler extension a few times to make any minor adjustments necessary. Once I was happy with the fitment, I removed the backing tape at the bottom of the extension blade. Then we slowly attached the extension blade to the bottom edge of the stock spoiler as shown. We pressed the extension blade from the outside and worked our way in. Next, we bent the extension blade forward so that each bracket rests flat against the top of the stock spoiler, marking the front edge of each bracket with masking tape. After double checking the placement of each tape line, we then drilled through the stock spoiler with a 5/32 drill bit. We drilled just deep enough to accommodate the length of the mounting screws. Then we carefully tightened down each of the mounting screws, which tapped themselves into the holes we just drilled. I also retightened the screws on the extension blade just to make sure that the brackets rested flush against the extension blade and the stock spoiler.
Okay everyone, so hopefully you guys found the install process of this spoiler extension to be relatively easy. The most challenging part for me personally was establishing the center line. I really took my time to make sure that I got everything measured up to my satisfaction. And then the next part that was challenging was getting the sticky tape to mount to the bottom of the spoiler. You really only have one shot, so if you are afraid of messing up, I would definitely recommend getting an extra roll of 3M tape so that you can start over if need be. So once again, a huge shout out to my friends Eddie, Tom, and David for coming over to help me install the spoiler extension, get everything lined up correctly, and also film the entire process. So after installing this spoiler extension for a couple weeks now, I really wanted to put the car through a couple driving conditions to evaluate how well this spoiler extension holds up. And after driving a couple 100 miles, taking this car out of state a couple times, visiting family and friends, driving anywhere between 60 and 80 miles an hour. So within that time frame, I found that the spoiler extension held up really well. I can even bump into it and actually manhandle this. It flexes because it's plastic, but the attachment points with the brackets remain very rigid on the stock spoiler. And it's funny that the actual stock spoiler is less rigid than the actual spoiler extension on the spoiler. So seeing that makes me feel confident that this spoiler extension is gonna stay put. My only comment with how the brackets are mounted is that you really have to be careful threading in these screws. You wanna take your time tightening down the screws as it taps into the hole that you drilled into the spoiler. So to quickly evaluate the aesthetics, I really like how the spoiler extension looks with the stock spoiler. It's fitted very nicely right before the spoiler curves on either side. And it's nothing crazy either, because I wasn't looking for a spoiler that would come up from the trunk and like be hung high with these like crazy airfoils all over it. Hopefully the silver vinyl that I order will pretty much match everything correctly to kind of complete the contrast look that I'm going for. If you do want to leave everything unfinished, I found that using a little bit of trim restore, I actually have Patterson Care trim restore currently on this wing, but it really does help bring out the color of the black plastic to really enhance the contrast against your car color. Alright everyone, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on the video below and also consider subscribing to the channel. Again, thank you to Brian from BMSpec for sending me the spoil extension to show you guys how to install it and provide my overall review. I really appreciate the support. So with that being said guys, my name is Pawinning and I will catch you guys in the next DIY tech video. Bye.